What's going on, my trainer club? Today we are going to check out the Incarnate versus the Therian Forms in Pokemon Go to see what is going to be the best one to power up, where they sit in the leagues, and which ones are most effective. So, welcome to the trainer club. Here we go! Welcome back, everybody. Let me know in the comments below, how are you doing on the Incarnate Forms? Are you guys having fun? Have you guys got yourself a shiny Landorus in the Incarnate form? Because then we're gonna go into both of the other Incarnate forms from the Thunderist as well as the Tornadus, and then we're gonna go into the Therian forms that are, as of right now, don't have shinies out right now, but a lot of us may be wondering which ones are going to be better. Is it going to be best to go after the Incarnate forms or the Therian forms in Pokemon Go? So we're going to analyze both those and we're going to see where do they sit overall and are they even relevant in general in each of their respective categories in Pokemon Go. And so before we get into this video, I just want to put a big asterisk right here. So these are comparing the Therian and the Incarnate form if they maintain the exact same move set for the most part. But since the Thunderist has came out in both of the forms and we did see a move shakeup, that does mean that at some point the different moves could alter how good and effective these Pokemon are. But with all that said, we're going to get into everything and then we're going to compare the Thunderist and the Incarnate and the Therian form to make sure that you guys do know what's going on there, and then we'll kind of speculate towards what it's going to go towards in the future. So as far as the moveset goes, we're going to look at number 1 DPS times TDO of the Thunderist in the Incarnate form and the Therian form if they had the exact same moveset, and then we're going to see how it shifts up once we do implement the new moveset that it did get, which did make it better. So let's check that out right now. Thunderist is going to max out in the Incarnate form at 3782 with an attack value of 266, a defense of 164, and a stamina of 188. And then in the Therian form, it's going to have a max CP of 4137, so you see the consistency. 295 in the attack compared to 266. It's going to be down 3 points exactly again in the defense, and the stamina is going to maintain the same. So obviously, they're going to be much strong meta attackers, and probably even stronger in the Go Battle League as well, because dropping only 3 points in that defense category and raising the attack value so much while keeping the stamina the same is definitely going to impact their rankings. So now let's check out the DPS times TD of this particular Pokemon. Where does it sit against itself in the Therian and the Incarnate form, and then where does it sit as an electric type attacker? So starting off, we have the Thunderist Therian form. This is if it had the exact same moveset as did the Incarnate form. It's going to be Thundershock and Thunder as the most powerful at 1583, and then we have it with Thundershock and Thunder Punch 1555, and then we have the Incarnate form at 1104. So looking at those stats, guys, it's really not that high. If the stats in the DPS times TDO aren't at least 2000 and above, you can pretty much always guarantee that it's not really going to be super relevant as a meta attacker when using it against raid bosses. But now with the new moveset, let's check out to see how it has changed up. So now we have Thunderous within Therian form with Volt Switch and Thunderbolt. Has went from about 1500 to 2560. Then we have Bite and Thunderbolt at 2180, Volt Switch and Thunder at 1342 in the Therian form, and that's way above what the Incarnate form at Thundershock Thunder, the best moveset that could have at 1104. So it went from 1104 and it went up 1400 points or 1,000 points from its same exact thing with the exact same moveset. So just looking at that differential, guys, that's absolutely huge to see how the new moveset of this Pokemon has bumped it up quite a bit as a meta attacker. So let's see where it sits in the electric category in Pokemon Go. All right, so starting off, we have Shadow Raikou, Thundershock Wild Charge, 3908 as the number 1. Then another Shadow Raikou. Then we have Shadow Zapdos with Thundershock Drill Peck. And then we have the Shadow Electivire, all electric, Thundershock Wild Charge at 3406. Shadow Zapdos, all electric there, Thundershock Thunderbolt at 3381. If we want to go to the second page and see the Shadow Magazone at Spark and Wild Charge at 3060, Mega Manectric, Charge Beam and Wild Charge at 2939. Then we can keep going down here and see a bunch of different things. If you guys did want to check out the Zekrom, which is going to be the number 1 non-Shadow non-mega attacker, is going to be Charge Beam Wild Charge at 3207. If we do want to see where this particular Pokemon sits, we do go to the Therian form, which is going to be on the 3rd page with Volt Switch and Thunderbolt at 2560. So now that Pokemon went from a I'm not going to recommend it to a decently high with the moveset change up Pokemon. So honestly speaking, obviously we have the Shadows in there that are really strong, and then we also have the Megas in there that are strong as well, and then Zekrom is dominating it. So since Zekrom's in there and it does have the Wild Charge moveset, I probably would not power this up. but it's only 700 points behind it, but the Shadows and the Zekrom are making it so that I probably would not power this particular Pokemon up. So as far as Landorus goes, this particular one is going to be 4,057 max level 50 CP, an attack value of 261, a defense of 182, and a stamina at 205. And then as far as the Therian Forme, it's going to max out at 4,434, so it's already about 300 CP points above the Incarnate Forme, which is already positive. It's going to have an attack value of 289 in comparison to 261 previously, so it is going to be up 20 plus points in attack. Its defense is going to be 179, it's going to be down 3 points, and it's going to have the exact same stamina. So obviously this Pokemon is stronger. So as far as it comparison to itself, the Therian Forme Mudshot Earth Power is going to be the strongest one at 2665. Pretty powerful in comparison to the Incarnate Forme with the Mudshot Earth Power at 1850. So that's about 800 points differential right there. Then if we go and check out all of the ground type attackers. So obviously we have the Megas and the Primals in here. Those are going to take up the top 3 spots, but the number 1 spot externally of the Megas and Primals, which are not out yet, we have Landorus in the Therian Forme at 2665 right there, which is crazy. But let's just compare it to the Megas Garchomp right now, which is going to be 6,035. So obviously speaking, the Garchomp is going to beat it out quite significantly, but we can only have 1 Mega at a time. So right now, realistically speaking, the Landorus is sitting in that spot, and it's going to be above the Groudon with the Mudshot Earthquake combination at 2,062. That Earthquake combination, being that it's Earthquake and it's a 1-bar charge, really pulls it down. And then we have Shadow Mamoswine in there with the Mudslap and the Bulldoze at 1963. And then we have Garchomp sitting below that with Mudshot Earthquake at 1884. So realistically speaking, guys, if we're looking at that, the Therian Forme of the Landorus is going to be the strongest Pokemon out right now for the ground category when it does come out, which is really powerful. The Primals and the Megas in the ground category are not out yet. Not only that, it's beating out the Groudon right now and the Garchomp as well, which is really, really cool. So that particular Pokemon is definitely worth your time to power up in this situation when we do need ground attackers, because the Mudshot and the Earth Power, that Earth Power move is the game changer. If any of these other Pokemon on there got the Earth Power move, they would probably take over that spot, but since they have the 1-bar charge Earthquake, and it's not quite as strong as of a move, it's definitely hindering it. Which then is going to lead us into Tornadus, the last of the 3. So Tornadus is going to have a max CP of 3782 with an attack value of 266, a defense of 164, and a stamina of 188. And the Therian Forme is actually going to go down 3635 for the max CP, an attack value of 238, which was dropping from 266, a defense of 189, which is up from the 164, and the stamina value stays the same. So this Pokemon is more tanky than it is attack as the other 2 were. So this particular Pokemon is a pure flying type Pokemon, so we're gonna have to compare this to one to, unfortunately, at some point the Mega Rayquaza, but realistically right now, the Shadow Moltres. And we do know that Sky Attack on that Shadow Moltres is an absolute flying boss. So let's check that DPS times TDO out right now. So like we did talk about Mega Rayquaza, Air Slash Hurricane, 8613. Wow. Shadow Moltres with the Wing Attack Sky Attack is going to be 4499. So it's going to be half as strong as the Mega Rayquaza, which is still crazy. And then if we're going to go on to the second page, we can find that Tornadus in the Incarnate Forme Air Slash Hurricane combination at 1188. And that's going to be the Incarnate Forme. The Therian Forme is going to be Air Slash Hurricane all the way down there at 889. And if we compare it to itself, the Incarnate Forme is going to be stronger at 1188 in comparison to the Therian Forme, which is going to be an 889 as far as the DPS times TDO. So unfortunately speaking, that Pokemon does get worse as far as a meta attacker because it gets a little bit more stamina, a little less on the attack, and that's not really what we're looking for the meta attackers. But where do these Pokemon sit in the Go Battle League? In the Master League, the Landorus is going to be ranked 16. So if it does get the same moveset, in the Therian Forme, it's going to be a better attacker and better ranked in the Master League. As far as the Tornadus, it's going to be ranked 253, so even when the new one comes out, sure, it might get a little bit tankier, and yes, PvP tankiness is important, so even if it does get better, I can't see it going over 200 as far as the rank goes. So in the Ultra League, the Incarnate Forme is going to be 230, and the Therian Forme is going to be 369. And then in the Master League, the Incarnate Forme is going to be ranked 65, and the Therian Forme is going to be ranked 159. So the Incarnate Forme is doing better, because if you think about it, the Therian Forme does have a higher attack, but it's getting longer charging movesets, as opposed to the Incarnate Forme, that has a little bit lower of attack, which is kind of unfortunate, but it has much quicker charging moves, which makes it a little bit more relevant for its purpose without having an increase in the bulk that the Incarnate form would need to make it more impactful in the meta. But if you do want to use it, the movesets are going to be for the Incarnate form, Thundershock, Crunch, and Thunder. And for the Therian form, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, and Focus Blast. So obviously, whatever moves the Landorus as well as the Tornadus are going to get in the Therian form are going to radically change what you're going to be able to do with these Pokemon. But as of right now, if we model this specific one, I would say that the Landorus is definitely going to get a bump, hopefully. I mean, the Incarnate form does have some boss moves, but if it stays semi-similar, it could get a bump, or it could be debuffed. If they gave it Earthquake instead of Earth Power, that would not be so good for that Pokemon. But if it does get Earth Power, it's going to be a really powerful ground attacker, so it's cool to see what's going to happen. And then as far as the Tornadus, also something we're going to have to wait for. So I hope this helps, guys. Definitely something that we're going to explore a little bit more in the future, but as of right now, you guys know everything where it sits, and if it does maintain the exact same moveset, which is going to be better. So thank you guys for tuning in. Likers, commenters, subscribers, Patreon members. Everybody takes your support, subscription, and participation to the next level. I'm going to see you guys out on the next video. Peace. I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.